Oh, howdy all, grab yourself a drink. It is time for some Path of Exile discussion. I wanted to talk today about some really interesting stuff that's been going on in the Path of Exile League economy in Crucible. And this is going to be looking specifically at bows and other weapons that have Rampage as a Crucible mod. This is a very, very, very rare outcome. It can only be in the fourth column of your Crucible tree, and it also can't be unveiled onto an item. The only way that it can spawn on an item is when you take two items to the Crucible Forge, can be either the level 80 or the level 84 one, merge them together, and then sometimes one of the mods on the Crucible tree will transform into a new mod. And when that happens, it can be Rampage, but it can also be a lot of other things as well. So that's the only way that it can spawn. It's very, very rare, and as a result, the prices had been extraordinarily high until the last few days. You'll see these are going for about 10 Divine Orbs at the moment. Now, previously, these bows were going for more than 100. What's happened is that there's been a bunch of discussion of ways of optimizing this process, and particularly once you do have a bow that has Rampage on it, of combining further tree mergers and split beasts or fractured fossils and things like that. There's a big write-up that's been made on the Path of Exile subreddit, and I'll put a link to this thread by Lucas Incredible, where they discuss the ways they've been intervening into this particular market. But the key thing is that they have been mass producing these at the expense of consuming a lot of split beasts, a lot of fractured fossils, and also a lot of the magmatic ores, which are the Crucible XP tokens. Now, when talking about item duplication, this is always going to set off a lot of people's concerns about this being potentially cheating. GG have come out and said that because it is consuming rare resources, fractured fossils, split beasts and the like, it's not something that they consider cheating. They said this earlier when the Divine printer was first outlined, when people were doing this with Crucible mods that had the text, "This item vendors for 3 additional Divine Orbs." That was being done early in the league a lot, and it was something very, very popular, very, very profitable. But now it seems like doing it with Rampage mods is actually a better use of these rare reagents. Now, this has been really interesting because this is a work in progress at the moment. If you have a look at the list of all of the items that are available for sale at the moment that have Rampage on them, you'll notice that 70% of them are spine bows. And that's because Lucas Incredible's strategy has only really been going so far on spine bows. But Lucas Incredible has outlined a plan to do this with all of the other weapon types that he can afford to get his hands on, starting with wands, and then potentially moving on to scepters and other things after that. Now, if you're interested in trying to be part of this yourself, then it's worth checking out Lucas Incredible's outline as to exactly how he's doing this, and then perhaps try to get in on a different base, but be aware that getting Rampage is extremely, extremely rare. You're going to need to be tree merging together item level 86 items, and it's my estimate based on my personal reading of data mine information, and I am absolutely not certain that I'm right on this, that it's something like 1 in 1,000, 1 in 1,500 in order to get Rampage there. Of course, I could be out by a substantial factor there. I could be misinterpreting the data mined information as to how rare all of these mods are. But if you do get one of the first ones for a particular type of weapon, particularly a less popular weapon like a dagger or a one-handed sword, you might be able to do pretty well for yourself if you can be the first person there, and then if it survives the early RNG steps of the duplication process that Lucas Incredible outlines in this post. One last thing is that this is likely to push up the price of fractured fossils and also split beasts. So if those are things you enjoy farming, then this is going to be all upside for you. Not only can you get yourself really, really cheap Rampage bases, at least compared to the prices they used to be, but on top of that, you can also sell all of the reagents that you're generating through your own farming to people who are looking to engage in market arbitrage along these lines. That's all I got on this. May the Forge of the Titans treat you kindly, and I will see you around.